Hi Aries, and welcome to your August 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. As usual, I will be doing some intuitive messages for you for the month, as well as a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below. Let's talk about your month, Aries. Okay, I sat down to do your reading last night, actually, and I couldn't get through it. Okay, I couldn't, get through that. The energy was so heavy. And that's not a bad thing. It's not meaning that you're going to experience that, but I just wanted to let you guys know that at first glance, I kind of felt sort of like a, enduring, kind of hard to get through type of vibe coming through. But as I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, I don't really feel that way at all. But what I do feel is that you could be dealing with timing. Okay, so like when are you trying to do things? When are you trying to record videos? When are you trying to do whatever it is that you do? Really try to think about like when is the best time to do things. Try to do things early. Try to do things with fresh eyes and a fresh mind, as that is certainly what I learned when I went to do your reading last night. But it makes sense. I mean, your ruling planet Mars is really firmly wrapped up in a powerful configuration as we start the month of August. It's the Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction in Taurus, which I will link below and in the top right-hand corner, because it's such a life-changing transit for everyone. And it's kind of like when you face those life-changing events, or when you face these huge pivot points in life, that can be hard to face, and that can be hard to talk about, that can be hard to get through, and that can be just overwhelming to think about and to talk about. Sometimes it's better just to face it with action and to do what needs done. Action orientation is a big thing for you this month. And maybe you don't need to make any huge life-altering decisions at the very beginning of the month, because that's when the configuration is happening on July 31st and August 1st. But some of you might have to, but it's better to be saving the big stuff for later in the month and maybe letting your motivation come through early on. I feel intuitively for you, Aries, that there is a lot of shaking up happening, and it's a good thing. There's a lot of stagnation being released. The old, outworn stuff doesn't stand a chance here, and it's really good for you to let that be a natural rather than manufactured experience. So letting things naturally kind of change, letting the natural pivot happen, okay? Try to not force yourself to do things you don't want to do. At the same time, try to not manufacture your own life-changing events. This is an important little dialogue here, because when the North Node, especially as with Uranus, okay, there can be a sense of false light, a sense of manufactured results, a sense of trying way too hard to do a small thing, or just like overthinking things, becoming overwhelmed. And with your ruling planet being tied up into that, it says that it's maybe really prevalent for you. And what I suggest when you're dealing with something like that, if you have like people in your life who are manufacturing things, if you have a sense of like plastic culture in your life, or a sense of fakeness, or a sense of, it's just not a hearty or root level real thing that you're dealing with, or that or it's not maybe a natural change that you feel is in front of you. What I recommend is that you kind of just let things have their own momentum, and don't put it on your own shoulders to change lives for other people, or to be other people's like guiding transformative catalyst, I want to say, because there's something of a very transformative catalyst coming in for you this month. And you basically need, I think, to let it kind of just change on its own, and not be that invested in your own need to change it, or to change any situation that you're up for. You have two aces in your reading, okay? You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, and that's a very nice, good sign, okay? Whenever two aces are upright and in the same reading, it means that there's a very lucky new beginning, or there's a very lucky and fated new beginning. So you don't have to try that hard. It's going to come through on its own. And for you, it's in material or career circumstances, and also in mindset, and it can't be one without the other. So the career can't change without the mindset changing. And perhaps the mindset can't change without the career changing for some of you as well. But it seems that both of those things might be up for a new beginning in August. Your two major arcana cards this month are the Devil and the Chariot. So you have this want to break shackles, or to not be tied to things, or to not be tied down, or, stuck to things that you don't want to do. There's a need for a new exercise regimen, okay? There's a need for a new kind of fitness. Fitness is a really good keyword for you this month because it seems like all of these changes or all of these frustrations are all tying back to fitness. How is the core strength right now? How is your targeted exercise regimen? How is your cardio? It might not mean that much to all of you, but it has a big reverberation for the rest of your for the other parts of your life, and for the rest of your life, I suppose. So take a look at your fitness. Take a look at your how you're moving as well. The Chariot is about movement, and the Devil is about being stuck. Okay, so we have this battle between wanting to change things and wanting to stay still. There's a pretty big force in both of those actions for you this month, and that's evocative of this Saturn-Uranus square that we're having, and that is coming back in for the rest of the year. So eventually there's some kind of compromise that has to happen, or there's some kind of a moderate kind of result rather than an extreme result that I feel must come through for you. Also, it's an important month for solitude for you. You have a lot of cards that depict solitude: the Two of Swords, the Chariot, the Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the two aces also deal with that too because they're singular. They're one. They're the number one. So something about your solitary experience versus your experiences in groups or in teams is also coming up this month. Moving on to your week-to-week Aries. Okay, so in the first week of August, you have the Chariot rooted down by the Four of Cups. Okay, so major progress on your own terms, or major changes that are coming through on your watch or alone. So you're only going to reach some of these changes alone. It's not going to be something that other people change for you, which kind of contradicts what I was saying earlier. Like earlier I was talking about how it needs to be a natural change and you don't need to try that hard. But it still needs to be that as well. So it's like a natural change that maybe only you see, okay, or that only you go through. So you don't need to like involve other people in your changes, or you don't need to experience it vicariously through other people either. It needs to be your own kind of natural change coming up in the first week of August. Also, it's nice to be on your own, or to have, for some of you, a weekend getaway, or something that will put you into your own sphere. And in the second week, you have the Ace of Swords rooted down by the Two of Cups. Okay, second week is beautiful. There's a new love language coming through for you, a new mindset relating to love and connection with other people. You are also meeting yourself halfway in a new way. Okay, so a new also conclusion that you're drawing on your own relationship with self. You might see, oh my gosh, I've been being so like unaccepting of myself, or I've been being completely unsympathetic to my own journey. And that's leading to a harshness, or that's leading to this like devil archetype coming in, where there's this maybe connection to pain or self-inflicted problems. Take a close look at any self-inflicted circumstances. So things you never had to go through, dilemmas you never had to face, but that you chose to take on, or that you chose to experience, and also prolonged. There's a question of, what are we prolonging unnecessarily? What are we not cutting off that needs cut off? Okay, so indulging in a prolonged kind of dispute is a big thing in the second week, and there's a different mindset, I think, coming in for you about how things are prolonged, and also like how you show up for yourself, and maybe don't allow in the future to prolong these unsolvable issues. Week number 3, you have the Two of Swords rooted down by the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, you're totally done with putting yourself through any type of difficult, frustrating turmoil. This feeling of frustration, or this feeling of having to do something you don't want to do, is over, and you're building a new boundary, I feel, and maybe closing yourself off from, for example, themes of, I have to hurt myself, but I get money, okay, or I get a paycheck for putting myself through that, and that makes it worth it. Selling out basically is off the table for you in the third week, and you're like, I'm not willing to have no sense of personal boundaries in order to get money, or in order to get a certain sense of security, because it's not security when the security comes at the cost of your boundaries. So we have a big boundary question here, and maybe a renegotiation of like what your boundaries are, and what fee can change your boundaries. So having more intelligent boundaries, more smart boundaries is good. But also, I think that you get a windfall or you get some kind of abundance in the third week too with the Ace of Pentacles, especially by the Nine of Cups. Whenever those two cards come up together, it means like a lottery winnings, or it means some type of major abundance. So it's like as you get that, you have maybe the actual ability to no longer have to put yourself through certain problems in order to get money or in order to get a sense of security. So that's a big shift for you this month, Aries, where it's like, not for every Aries is this happening. It kind of depends on the individual. But for the Aries who have not been able to have like boundaries because of their work and that conflict of interest, where it's like, I'm worried about how my security will be affected if I don't have this paycheck or if I don't have this quote unquote security. It's very kind of ironic in a sense where people will deplete their security to receive what they think is security. But it's harsh times. I understand. There's just a major, actually lucky restructuring of your own personal boundaries and your own personal ethic in the third week of August, which I really like. I think that so many people, and I've been seeing this for a lot of the signs this month, so many people are like, you know what? I've got to live my life. Okay, like I can't like sacrifice my life for these paychecks or for these fiscal matters. I have like traveling to do, and there's a lot of people in the month of August 2022 basically, I don't know, in the movie In The Devil Wears Prada, where Andy like walks away at the very end of the movie and she like throws the phone in the fountain. It's very much like that, okay, where people are like, okay, I see that if I follow this person or if I keep kind of sacrificing my own integrity, I'm going to get a lot of power and I'm going to like really have a certain like guarantee. But then they're like, but what do I have to trade for that? So ultimately, there's kind of this like choosing not to sell the soul, or choosing to have your own autonomy at least, or your own direction. That does come up, and that's what I'm seeing for you all, Aries, this month as well. It's like that scene in The Devil Wears Prada was a psychic image that I got, and fourth week, there's the devil. I hadn't even realized that until I saw that again. That's so funny. So the devil, rooted down by the Nine of Cups. Yeah, that's because the Nine of Cups is like the energy of a fountain too. Oh my gosh, I can't handle that. That's really crazy. I didn't think of that until I just saw this, you all. That's hilarious. Okay. So that's like that scene in the fourth week of August. So that might be happening to you. You might not be willing to sacrifice your youthfulness or your innocence for money or for this kind of low vibrational power structure that is so prevalent right now. And that's going to give you a lot, okay? That Nine of Cups energy by the Ace of Pentacles is like right as you make that choice, you like suddenly get a huge windfall or something comes through and you get this new emergence or you get this new platform or this new height that you wouldn't have even achieved if you would have committed to, the devil energy, okay? So the universe is very interesting here. And you have the choice is the thing. You can choose either path. It's not going to choose it for you. But the outcomes are actually similar. But the difference is that it's like your autonomy or your authority versus that maybe being like leased out to another person. That's the difference. Let's talk more about that in your extended on Patreon, Aries. I'll get a central theme to supporting themes. And I'll get a Rose Oracle card to understand how you're growing, as we do indeed have a major Earth configuration this month. So we'll look more into this all for you. It'll be linked below and in the center of your screen. Have a great month, Aries. Bye.